The Nigeria Labour Congress NLC has staged a nationwide protest in Abuja over the worsening state of insecurity across the country, insisting that the federal government must urgently deploy the full machinery of governance to reclaim communities, protect workers and restore public confidence. The protest, which took place at the NLC Secretariat in Abuja, began at 11:15 a.m. Among those present at the protest ground were leaders of the NLC, members of its affiliate unions and civil society organizations. Addressing workers, Deputy General Secretary of the NLC, Ismail Bello, said the protest was not partisan or sectional interest, but for the survival of all Nigerians. He added that Nigerians had paid a heavy price for the prolonged insecurity, with communities destroyed and livelihoods lost. While calling for decisive action against kidnappers and criminal elements, the Deputy General Secretary said failure to punish perpetrators had emboldened insecurity. NLC said since 2009, over 2,295 teachers have been killed by insurgents and bandits, while more than 19,000 teachers have been displaced in Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states. Over 910 schools were destroyed, forcing about 1,500 learning centers to shut down or become internally displaced persons camps. Meanwhile, President of Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Joe Ajaero, says the meeting held with President Bola Tinubu by organized labor on Tuesday night centered on addressing the issue of insecurity of Nigerian workers. Ajaero stated this after a meeting convened by Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State with the NLC leadership in Abuja. President Tinubu's meeting with the NLC at the State House on Tuesday night was part of the last-minute efforts to halt the union's proposed nationwide protest over insecurity. Also speaking, Governor Uzodinma, who is chairman Progressive Governors Forum, said the president's intervention played a key role in resolving the matter and that a channel had been opened for increased communication with Labour. Now, joining us on the news tonight is our correspondent from Abuja, Adegboyega Arogbodo. Adegboyega, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Adegboyega, can you hear me? Okay, we'll work on Adegboyega's audio, but before then, let's take our Lagos story. Now, here in Lagos, the NLC wants President Bola Tinubu to, as a matter of urgency, nip the rising insecurity in the bud. Now, this is coming as they took their peaceful protest to the Lagos State House of Assembly. Correspondent Omololu Sobu has the report.
These are Nigerians under the aegis of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the coalition of civil society groups in Lagos State. The team is led by the NLC chairman in Lagos State, Comrade Agnes Fumisesi, and the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana. The procession to the Lagos State House of Assembly speak to the need for President Tinubu to attend to the rising space of insecurity as the Yuletide season draws closer.
This is December period. Workers that have been working from January to December. The holiday break, many people will have prepared to travel home to the villages to go and enjoy the Christmas break with their family and their loved ones. But they are now afraid of the insecurity. They are afraid of the ransom. They are afraid of kidnapping. They are afraid of banditry. Yes. They are afraid of being robbed on the way. Yes. And now the height of it, we are also showing our displeasure against all the negativity arising from the insecurity.
The Nigerian workers also lament the high cost of airfares, which is beyond their reach, calling on state governors and council chairmen to do more with more resources now available at their disposal.
Now, they are now having full autonomy. We are asking that they should take responsibility and protect the people in their communities. Oh, yeah. All these criminals, they live within the communities. They don't live in Jupiter.
Human rights lawyer Femi Falana is tasking the Lagos lawmakers on proper scrutiny of the 2026 appropriation and the adoption and enactment of the National Social Investment Program.
That has provided for cash transfer to the vulnerable people. That has provided for Empower project so that young people can have employment. That has provided for compulsory nutritious meal a day for the children of the poor in primary schools. That is the law in Abuja, which is currently not being implemented. But we know that if Lagos State adopt this law and enact it, it's going to be implemented.
Assurance is coming from Honorable Rashid Adebola Shabi on behalf of the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly that their message will get to President Tinubu, adding that Governor Sanwo-Olu is proactive in Lagos State.
All what you have said, we have had our good neighbor. I can assure you, Mr. President is on top of the security issues. Yesterday, he met with the security chiefs, and I will say to you, he doesn't sleep because of this issue of security. I can tell you here authoritatively, Lagos State Governor has just given over 100 vehicles to the police. I'm saying this to you, and Lagos State Government takes care of all the security in the state. Lagos is safe.
The Nigerian workers in Lagos also say they are in support of the death penalty being proposed by the National Assembly for kidnappers to serve as deterrent. Omololuro Sanwo, LTV News.
Now let's go back to Abuja, where our correspondent Adegboyega Arogbodo is on standby. Adegboyega, can you hear me now? Adegboyega, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Thank you very much. Now, how did the protest unfold in Abuja today?
Hello?
How did the protest unfold in Abuja today?
Well, I think if I can hear you clearly, I think you are asking concerning the protest that took place today in the city of Abuja.
Yes, exactly. How did it unfold?
Oh, all right. It went well. It went as planned. I believe the federal government tried to stop the process last night because as at 11 p.m. last night, the presidency was having a meeting with the leaders of the organized labor in order to shelve the planned protest. And well, somehow that meeting has an effect because it wasn't really a loud protest, as it were, even though the members of the organized labor gathered themselves at the labor house, that's along Rashid Districts in the Central Business District, and they walked through the secretariat, to the Ministry of Finance junction. I think that's where even they were being led by police and security personnel to make sure that it wasn't hijacked, as it were. So. Hello?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you. Continue. Go on.
All right. It wasn't really as elaborate as one would have thought, because many people were not even aware that there was something like that coming up in the FCT today. But somehow it still went ahead, because even as at 11 a.m. it wasn't clear how it's going to be effected, because the leaders of the labor union, they were still having indoor meetings till around 11 to 12 noon. So, but others now have to go out and, walk through these streets, and just under 1 hour, and everything went back to their secretariat. But I think they have made their point. They made their points, and it's not questionable that the state of security needs to be addressed by the federal government, and they have made that point clear. So, okay. But you know what the Mr. President told them last night was that you have to make them understand all the processes being taken by the federal government to make sure that the security situation is really abated and come to normal.
All right. So did the NLC give the federal government any ultimatum?
I can hardly hear you now.
Did the NLC give the federal government any ultimatum?
Bukola, I can hardly hear you.
Hello, Arogbodo, can you hear me now?
Yeah, faintly.
So, I said, did the NLC give the federal government any ultimatum?
You said NLC and federal government did what?
Did the NLC give the federal government any ultimatum?
Yeah, well, they've opened up the engagement, and the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, said, the engagement continues, and the organized labor has opened up that process in a way that, to make sure that their agitations are well known to the government, and governments really go proactive about them. So I think it's a continuous engagement between the organized labor and the federal government, because they have opened up that engagement last night. And like the chairman of NLC, that the president said, it's a win-win situation from the talk they had. It's a process that is going to be successful at the end of the day and really be of beneficial values to Nigerians and to Nigerian workers in particular.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us on the news tonight.
Thank you, Bukola.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, the Rivers State chapter of the NLC embarked on a peaceful march through the Port Harcourt-Aba Expressway from its office. They expressed concern over persistent security challenges and their impact on the safety and livelihoods of Nigerians. The protesters moved to the Rivers State Government House, where they gathered at the main entrance waiting to be addressed by government officials. The workers in Taraba State also joined their counterparts across the country to protest and demand better security for lives and property. The protesters expressed worry over banditry and demanded action. They urged the government to live up to its responsibility of guaranteeing the safety of Nigerians. However, in Sokoto State, the NLC suspended its planned street protest and resolved to hold special prayers for peace and safety across the state. This was announced by the state NLC chairman, Abdullahi Jungle. Jungle said the move followed extensive consultations and resolution of the State Executive Council in line with the directive of the NLC National Headquarters.